ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरये। नास्तप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया। भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति रभवती नैस्तकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। This morning we'll be speaking from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 24, text number 24. So it's 24 is written up on the board? 24, huh? Na puro janapada na grama na griha vayam vanoksha tata nityam vana shaila nivasina na puro janapada na grama na griha vayam manokshastata nityam vana shaila nivasina. Try, please. Mataji's. Na, not, Naha, for us, Puraha, the cities, Janapada, developed inhabited area. Na, not, Grama, villages. Na, not, Griha, living in permanent homes. Vayam, we, Vana Oksha, dwelling in the forest. Tata, my dear father. Nityam, always. Vana, in the forest. Shaila, and on the hills. Nivasina, living. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear Father, our home is not in the cities or towns or villages. Being forest dwellers, we always live in the forest and on the hills. Kindly repeat. My dear Father, our home is not in the cities or towns or villages. Being forest dwellers, we always live in the forest and on the hills. Purport. Lord Krishna here points out that the residents of Vrindavan should recognize their relationship with Govardhan hill and the forests of Vrindavan, and not worry about a distant demigod like Indra. Having concluded his argument, Lord Krishna makes a radical proposal in the following verse. So I will read the proposal which Krishna makes to the cowherd boys, which is in the next text. Therefore, may a sacrifice for the pleasure of the cows, the Brahmanas, and Govardhan hill begin, with all the paraphernalia collected for worshipping Indra. Let this sacrifice be performed instead. Purport, small purport. Lord Krishna is famous as Go Brahmana Hitayacha, the well-wishing friend of the cows and the Brahmanas. Lord Krishna specifically included the local Brahmanas in his proposal because he is always devoted to those who are devoted to the godly Vedic culture. Mukham karoti vachanam panghun langayate girim yat kripa tam ham vandhe Shiguru Dina Dharanam Paramananda Madhavam. This pastime Leela of lifting Govardhan takes place after Lord Krishna had delivered the wives of the Brahmanas who were engaged in karma kandya activities. After that, delivering the Brahmanas his wives and showing his mercy to them, Krishna performed this wonderful pastime of lifting Govardhan hill to cut off the pride of the demigod Indra, and also to show his mercy to the devotees. Of all the energies of Krishna, his energy of protecting his devotees is the strongest. That's why he is known as Bhakta Vatsal. So by this pastime, he cut the pride of Indra. At the same time, he showed his mercy to the Brijavasis, cowherd persons. And he wanted to show for people in general that it is not necessary to worship any demigod. And he cites two reasons. First reason is that all the benefits that we get from demigods are temporary. And the second reason is that actually any benefit that is awarded by the demigods is actually awarded by the Lord Krishna himself. Without the sanction of Lord Krishna, there is no possibility of the demigods offering any benedictions to any person. So Krishna has given various arguments to his father Nanda Maharaj, seeing Nanda Maharaj was preparing another sacrifice for the pleasure of Indra, which was a tradition. But Krishna wanted Nanda Maharaj and the Brijavasis to stop this. And so he told Nanda Maharaj, giving various arguments, it's actually not necessary. One gets the results of one's previous activities, and it's not that rainfall depends on Indra only. So after giving these arguments, he suggests to them, which is today's verse, we are actually very close to Govardhan. We are not town people or cities persons or even village persons. We are very close to Govardhan, and as such, we have a very close relationship with Govardhan. So we should just engage in worshipping Govardhan. And Govardhan has two forms. One form is that of a devotee, Haridas Varya. We will come to that in a moment. He is Haridas Varya, the topmost amongst all devotees. And the other form is he is the form of Krishna himself, which he exhibited in this pastime. So our acharyas have said that just as Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanya Tad Dham Vrindavanam Rama Kachid Upasana Vrajbadur Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavat Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Tatrana Para Adara. Just like Krishna is worshipable, so his Dham, Vrindavan, and Srila Prabhupada explains, also Govardhan is as worshipable as Krishna himself. And this is stated in the Nectar of Instruction, Shloka number 9, describes that this land of Mathura is superior to Vaikuntha in the spiritual world, because Lord Krishna took birth there in Mathura and performed so many pastimes there. Superior to Mathura is the forest of Vrindavan, where Krishna performed so many wonderful pastimes, especially the Rasa Leela dance pastime. And then even superior to Vrindavan is Govardhan. Nectar of Instruction says that. Govardhan is even superior to Vrindavan, because here the Lord has so many pastimes, and Govardhan gives protection to the cows, supplies so many things to the cows, known as Haridas Varya. We'll come to that in a minute. And superior to Govardhan even is Radha Kund, the highest, most spiritual point in this universe. This nectar of instruction states that this wonderful pastime of Govardhan Leela actually begins in Goloka, Vrindavan, in the spiritual world itself, Goloka Vrindavan. When Lord Krishna had decided to come to this earth, he asked Srimati Radharani that I'll be adventing myself on earth in the material world. I would like you to accompany me. So Srimati Radharani said that, but there is no Govardhan, there is no Yamuna, there is no Vraj there. I don't want to go there. I will not be happy without Govardhan, without Vraj, or without Yamuna. So Krishna assured her, please do not worry. I will make sure that Govardhan comes along with us, Yamunaji comes along with us, and Vraj comes along with us. So the Govardhan that we see in this material world is actually a part of Goloka Vrindavan. It is not part of this material world. It is directly from Goloka Vrindavan. And as such is worshipable, as we just quoted this verse, Aradhyo Bhagwan Brajesha Tanyata Dhama Vrindavan. Just like Krishna is worshipable, similarly his Dham, Vrindavan and Govardhan are also worshipable. And our acharyas in all sampradayas and in the Gaudiya Sampradaya also especially have given great respect to Govardhan and included that as a part of worship for all Vaishnavas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he on his tour of Vrindavan came to Govardhan, he heard about the beautiful deity of Gopal that was being worshipped on top of Govardhan hill. Mahaprabhu, out of respect for Govardhan, because Govardhan is totally spiritual, Mahaprabhu, he did not climb Govardhan, but at the same time, he had a very strong desire to have the darshan of this Gopal deity. So, the Gopal deity performed a wonderful pastime that some arrangement was there, that some fear of Muslims, Malechas, came about, that some Muslims are in the area. To protect the deity from these Malechas, the pujaris brought the deity down from Govardhan. And in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could take darshan of Gopal. So Govardhan is actually not different from Krishna, is another form of Krishna which he exhibited before all the Brajavasis. He also explained to Nanda Maharaj and Brajavasis, you are worshipping Indra, but Indra is never coming in his personal form before you. But I have come in this personal form to accept all your offerings. Srila Prabhupada also was very keen to do parikrama of Govardhan. And towards the end of his manifest pastimes, before he entered into his Nitya Leela with Krishna, he had expressed his desire to the devotees there. My wish is to circumambulate Govardhan. This was one of his last wishes, to circumambulate Govardhan hill. At that time he was not disposed so well, he was very weak. The devotees had told Srila Prabhupada, in this condition it will not be possible. But Prabhupada still was very enthusiastic, and some arrangement was even made by a bullock cart parikrama for Srila Prabhupada. But the Kaviraj advised against that. No, Prabhupada will not be able to tolerate even the bullock cart parikrama. So then the idea was dropped. In the 10th chapter, in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam and chapter 21, where the gopis are glorifying the song of Krishna's flute, the gopis also glorify Govardhan. And they say, Hantayam Adri Abala Haridasa Varya Yad Rama Krishna Charana Sparsha Pramodha Manam Tanoti Sa Goganastayoryat Pani Suvasa Kandara Kandamalaye. They glorify Govardhan hill, and they refer to him as Haridasa Varya. So 3 devotees have been given the position of topmost devotees. That is Yudhishthir Maharaj, Uddhava and Govardhan. And out of these devotees, Govardhan is given the position of Haridasa Varya, the topmost, Haridasa Varya. And why? The gopis are saying, Hantayam Adri Abala Haridasa Varya Yad Rama Krishna Charana Sparsha Pramoda. They say that Govardhan has been touched by the lotus feet of Rama Krishna, Balaram and Krishna. And he's always very happy, then always respecting Krishna and providing beautiful, very soft grass for the cows, very nectarian water which is like ambrosia, nectar, and giving shade to the cows, giving Krishna so many things like flowers, fruits, kandamulai. Kandamulai means roots and other vegetables. Govardhan. Govardhan means he satisfies or he expands the pleasure of the cows. He is a devotee who's always serving everyone, especially the cows. So that's why the gopis refer to Govardhan as Haridasa Varya, topmost amongst all devotees. And our acharyas have commented that the grass that grows on Govardhan is not just ordinary grass. It has some very specific characteristics. It is very soft, very fragrant, sugandhit, soft, komal, pushti vardhanam. It gives strength to the cows. so they never feel tired. And Sambaskatam, that means they give more and more milk. It increases the quantity of milk the cows produce. And our acharyas have explained also that this grass itself is very much nurtured not by water, but by the milk which the cows are giving. It's a cycle. The grass is so nutrition and increases the milk which the cows give. And in turn, the cows feed their milk to the grass. So the grass is very nutritious. Pushti Vardhanam. It nourishes them. They don't feel tired. Like that. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Ras Bihari Lalita Visakha Devi Ki Jai. Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Jai. Our acharyas have also commented that being a pure devotee, in the mood of a pure devotee, Govardhan is feeling the symptoms of ecstasy, is showing the symptoms of ecstasy. Ashtavikar, he experiences Ashtavikar. And our acharyas have compared the various features of Govardhan hill to the symptoms of Ashtavikar. Like for instance, the soft, flourishing grasses, the acharyas have compared to the rising of hairs. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, when will hairs on my body rise up? These are the symptoms of love which Govardhan is exhibiting. The beautiful grasses, nutritious grasses. Then the waterfalls in Govardhan, which are honey-like, are the prem which is emanating from the heart of Govardhan. The cascades, waterfalls, the small rivers that are in Govardhan, are the tears of Govardhan due to his ecstatic. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sloka, that when will tears come to my eyes? When will Gadgada, all the hairs in the body stand up? Govardhan is exhibiting these symptoms and at the same time providing so many things for the devotees and especially for the cows. The ancient history of Govardhan is mentioned in the Puranas that excuse me. Once one great rishi, Pulastya Rishi, during his tour in South India, came across a king. So this king had one son. His name was Govardhan. So Pulastya Rishi was immediately attracted to the beauty of Govardhan. So he asked this king, please allow me to take Govardhan with me. So naturally the king was very disturbed. How could he part with his dearest son, Govardhan? Yet he feared the curse of Pulastya Rishi. If I don't allow him to take this Govardhan. Then he'll curse me. No, I'll be ruined. So he tried to put it off by saying he had to do something that if Govardhan wants, then I can allow, but I cannot force him to go. So Govardhan agreed on one condition. Because you are going to go through the space mark, Antariksh mark, by the air mark, I am willing to come with you, but if you put me down anywhere, I will stay at that point only. I will not move from there. Pulastya Rishi, he was very much attracted to Govardhan. He said, all right, I accept your condition. So, mystic yogi as he was, Pulastya Rishi, he could travel through Antariksh, through space, and he was able to pick up Govardhan in the palm of his hand. And carrying Govardhan in the palm of his hand through space, he was traveling. But after some time, he had to attend to the call of nature. And it's big pressure for him. Could not wait. So he stopped and he had to put Govardhan down. So after taking care of this call of nature, he came back and he tried to lift Govardhan. But Govardhan would not budge, could not be lifted. Instead, Govardhan replied, I told you, no, if you put me anywhere, I will stay there only. I will not move. You put me down, so I will stay here only. So actually, the place where Pulastya Rishi had put him was actually Braj. This is Govardhan's desire. This was Govardhan's desire all along. He wanted to be in Braj. So at this point, Pulastya Rishi was very angry with Govardhan. You are not moving. At the same time, I want you very much to be with me. Because you are not moving, I will curse you, that you will shrink in the ground to the size of one mustard seed every day. So by the curse of Pulastya Rishi, Govardhan hill, which was actually miles and miles high, but by the curse of Pulastya Rishi, is sinking into the ground, one mustard seed size every day. So that was one of the Leelas that has been cited in the Puranas. Srila Sanatana Goswami used to do the parikrama of Govardhan every day. Many Vaishnavas, many Gaudiya Vaishnavas do that. Sometimes even 2 times per day. And some extreme cases, even 3 times a day. It's very, very difficult sometimes. But some Vaishnavas take on this austerity. And Sanatana Goswami had this vow to circumambulate Govardhan every day. In his old age, Krishna told him that you are now very elderly. It's not possible for you to do, it's very difficult for you to do the full parikrama. So I'll give you a Shila from Govardhan. And that Shila was marked by the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and the hoof print of a cow, then Krishna's flute, and Krishna's walking stick or herding stick for cows. And this Shila, we can take darshan in the Radha Damodar temple. Even today, if you ask the pujaris, you would like to take darshan of the Shila, they will bring out the Shila and you can take darshan of the Shila. And it is said that by doing parikrama of the Radha Damodar temple area, the Garbhagriha area where the deities are, and the general area of Radha Damodar, 3 times, one gets the same benefit as one would get of doing parikrama of the whole Govardhan. This was given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami. There are many pastimes which are related to Govardhan. One of the most important being the pastime of Chandan Yatra, which festival we will be celebrating in a few days' time on the 3rd of May, Akshaya Tritiya. This is also connected with Govardhan in the sense that Madhavendra Puri, a great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Paramaguru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru was Ishwar Puri, and Ishwar Puri's guru was Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri, he had come to Govardhan. He was engaged in his bhajan. He would not take anything. Some of the villagers noted this. They supplied some milk. Actually, one village, the villagers, actually it was Krishna himself who came and gave some milk to Madhavendra Puri. And later on, Krishna revealed himself and said, there is a deity of Gopalji. Because of fear of the Muslims, the pujaris had hid him in the forest. So he instructed Madhavendra Puri to dig the area and find the deity, install the deity. So in very short, we were saying, Madhavendra Puri did all that and installed the deity of Gopal. Later on, that same Gopal deity said, my body has become very hot because of lying so many days in the sun. Bring some chandan from Orissa, sandalwood. So Madhavendra Puri came all the way from Govardhan to Orissa and collected a huge amount of chandan, sandalwood. It's a very long story, but we're just describing very shortly, synopsis of it. Then he started, after getting the chandan, grinding, and he was actually planning to come to Govardhan with the chandan. But the deity again came in his dream, Kirchor Gopinath, that I am non-different from Gopal. You can apply me here, and my deity of Gopal will be feeling cooling. So Madhavendra Puri did that, and that applying the chandan to the deity, specifically the Chirichor deity in Orissa, that is the occasion of Chandan Yatra, Akshaya Tritiya. There are other festivals also on Akshaya Tritiya which I appreciate, which are celebrated. And the deity of Srinathji, presently the deity that is known as Srinathji in Nathwar near Udaipur, actually has also connection with Govardhan. This is the same deity which Madhavendra Puri had rediscovered and installed on top of Govardhan, and the same deity had come and given darshan to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Later on, by his own will, the Gopal deity wanted to come to Rajasthan, Srinathji. That is the Pastimes. The same deity of Srinathji was formerly worshipped as the Gopal deity during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and going back even further was actually established by Vajranabha, the great grandson of Sri Krishna himself. So we say that although Krishna had lifted this Govardhan with the little finger of his left hand, the Brijavasis actually, out of their love and sneha, they don't accept this is Krishna can have done this. He's a small boy. What he can do? Krishna's friends all got together and said, actually, we are much stronger than Krishna. We all helped him to lift the Govardhan. How he could have done by himself? Punchri ka Lota Baba. There's one very fat Lota Baba. And you see the Punchri, tail of peacock-shaped Govardhan. He said, what this little Krishna can do? I did the lifting. I'm so strong. I lifted. While the other Brijavasis, they are saying, actually, Krishna did not lift the Govardhan. And during the Damodar Leela, when the Yamala Arjun trees fell down, he showed that, there was a storm. Because of the storm, the trees have fallen down. Our acharyas have explained, there was no storm. There was no wind on that day. It is their love. They want to see Krishna as their own, very own child. So similarly as far as Govardhan is concerned, they don't accept that Krishna has lifted it. The Brijavasis don't accept it. Out of their love. They're saying, because these Brahmanas, they are doing so nice yagyas. By the potency of the yagyas only, Govardhan could be lifted and the Brijavasis got protected. We got protection. This is the love and sneha of the Brijavasis. And Krishna appreciates this sneha. Some of the acharyas have mentioned that Krishna is always hankering for this love, this sneha. And some acharyas have also mentioned that Krishna likes to be pampered, lard, pampered. So, this is a wonderful pastime of Krishna lifting the Govardhan hill. As I mentioned, Srila Prabhupada loved very much. He encouraged all the devotees to do parikramas. Himself, before he entered into Nitya Leela, also desired this. In the Prem Dhvani also, every time we sing, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gokupinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. We mentioned glories of Govardhan. So I like to finish in a lighter mood. During the preaching in London, there was one yogi, 16-year-old. They used to call him, everyone used to call him Guru Maharaj, a 16-year-old boy. And somehow he attracted many sentimental persons. A very strange philosophy, claiming that he was God. So at that time, some of our own devotees were also somewhat naive. But anyway, they had the intelligence to ask Srila Prabhupada, this boy, he claims that he is Krishna. Can we accept that? So Prabhupada asked him, yeah, you can go and ask him, can he lift Govardhan hill? If he can lift Govardhan hill, then we will accept him as Krishna. So some of the devotees told that we asked him this question, what to speak of Govardhan, can you just lift any small table, any small item on this little finger? Can you do that? And very strange, unexpected replies. Yeah, I can lift it, but only my disciples can see. This was just a way to get out of the situation. But when Krishna lifted Govardhan, all the Brijabasis saw. So Prabhupada, in this way, revealed that this boy who claimed to be Krishna was total fraud. And he challenges anyone who claims to be Krishna. Let him show, let him demonstrate that he can lift even a small item. What to speak of Govardhan? Can he do that? Of course they cannot. Only Krishna could do. Because he is full of all energies. So I would like to stop here. If there are any questions or comments, you can ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we hear that Govardhan is shrinking, but Govardhan is shrinking because of Pulastya Rishi's curse. That means the height, and we have heard that the height was much, he was much taller. So when Sanatana Goswami was doing parikrama, almost 500 years ago, so that time also Govardhan was tall. So how was the circumference? Was it also more? Because we have heard Sanatana Goswami used to, when he used to do Govardhan Parikrama, he used to visit Chandra Sarovar. So is the circumference also shrinking like this?
So we should understand that the form of Govardhan is like a sleeping peacock with the eyes of the peacock as Radhakund and Shyamakund. So actually one of the offenses in the dham that one can commit is to try to measure the size of the dham. There are some things which we cannot understand, which we have to just accept them as it is. The important thing is that we are very fortunate by the guidance of the acharyas. They have given us everything. For instance, who would have known where is Radhakund and Shyamakund unless Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally came and showed? he excavated. He arranged for the excavation. Later it was done by Raghunath Das Goswami, Radhakund and Shyamkund. But some things we just have to just accept on the authority of the acharyas and scriptures. To exactly know what was the size of Govardhan, it is not so important to know, but to have a very humble attitude towards Govardhan, respecting Govardhan as a devotee and also as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. And what to speak of any of us, even Lord Krishna, when He manifested His form as Govardhan, He also offered His respects to Govardhan, which is Himself. He was offering respects to Himself. So there are some things we may not be able to understand. Srila Prabhupada was also asked some questions about in Goloka Vrindavan, some specific things. Is it this like, is it like that? Srila Prabhupada said, you wait till you get there, then you'll understand everything. So whatever we are able to get information from our acharyas, from the scriptures, we accept that and develop the mood of serving Govardhan. That's also true that at one point Govardhan was very miles and miles high. So it's not that Govardhan appeared only in this kalpa. So Govardhan appeared in another kalpa. And I believe that some of our devotees have done some more research on that if you go by that, some particular kalpa in which Govardhan appeared, and if you take one mustard seed as the size by which Govardhan is sinking, it approximates what the size of Govardhan is now. So, any other questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much for the nice class. As you were telling that Krishna, he was lifting the Govardhan hill, but the Vrajavasis, they were thinking that he is not actually.
Yes.
So Krishna in Vrajalila, we see that he is not he is not getting credit for anything actually. As you were telling that he is pulling down the trees, and the Vrajavasis are telling that maybe a gust of wind has done this. Or, maybe Krishna is some Devata or somewhere at max. So I was just thinking, Krishna is not seeking also, from Krishna's side also he is not seeking credit. While extinguishing the forest fire, he is telling that close the eyes, and then he is swallowing the forest fire. So in Vrajalila, Krishna is not seeking the credit, because there is no need of this credit when there is love. When there is love, there is no need to prove that I am superior or something. I want to serve you and I want to please you, so there is no need of credit. So yeah. I was just reflecting, the credit comes only when there is ego involved.
Yeah, that's very good point which Prabhu has made, that although Krishna exhibited so many wonderful and extra-human pastimes, yet he did not want any credit, neither he got any credit, because the Brijavasis, they don't see him as God. He is our own. He is like our son, Nanda Maharaj. When Uddhava had come to meet the Brijavasis, Uddhava started speaking because he was a Brahman realized devotee. Your son, why are you missing him so much? He is Brahman. And Yashoda started saying, this man, are you crazy? this boy has drunk from my own breast's milk. And he's so naughty, this Krishna. And you say, this is God? You go away. This thing won't fly here. Go out. Like that. See, this is the love of the God. And Krishna doesn't want to be appreciated for other things. And the killing of demons, in any case, is not done by Krishna. It is Mahavishnu who is in the body of Krishna and other avatars who actually do the killing of the demons. His purpose is to give pleasure to the devotees. He comes only to have nectarian pastimes with the devotees, and the devotees will remember these pastimes and feel ecstasy. As you said, Prabhuji said very nicely also, Krishna is not egoistic that he wants to be glorified for all these things. We all want to be glorified. But Krishna doesn't need to be glorified. He needs love, but he doesn't have to be glorified for this killing of demons and all that. Tenadapi sunichena, Mahaprabhu himself has said, Taroriva sahisnuna amanina mandena kirtaniya sada hari. Think yourself lower than the straw in the sea, ready to offer respects to everyone. More tolerant than the tree, but don't expect any respect for yourself. Mahaprabhu himself, when people cause even on his devotees called him, you're Vishnu, he blocked his ear. No, I'm not Vishnu. Like that. So, glorify Krishna for his wonderful pastimes. This is the sneha of Yashoda and the Brajavasis. The Arjuna trees, they have fallen down due to some storm. What my little Lala can do. Similarly, Govardhan has been lifted. Govardhan rose up, according to the Brajavasis. Because of the Brahmanas, they are doing so many sacrifices. Because of the potency, Shakti of the Yagya, the Govardhan went up and protected. They don't accept that Krishna is God. This is out of their love. And Krishna wants to have those exchanges with his devotees. And as I mentioned, he is hankering, he likes to be pampered. Acharyas have used this word, pampered. Hare Krishna. Any other questions or comments? So, thank you very much, everyone. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Govardhan ki jai.